Alright class, here goes the Excel 1A simulation training. As I told you today in class, we go in order to 1.13 and it jumps to 14, so I'm going to do these one at a time. So starting at 1.1, so I start everything up. We see Excel, we see our rows and columns and our banner. It's telling us in A1 to type the easy pantry. So we click on A1, we're going to use the name box to go to A1. And we hit enter. Now for 1.2, in A2 we're going to type the third quarter sales for fruit spreads. And then we're going to use the name box to go to A4. We're going to type jams and enter. In A5 it wants us to see the autofill feature, so we type J and we see jams auto populates. Could be a time saver thing, but we're going to finish typing jellies and enter. And that's it for 1.02. That was interesting. So we're going to use autofill and some shortcuts. So in B3, we're going to type July. And then the formula bar right up here where we see July, it wants us to hit the check to enter. It keeps that as an active cell. Now we're going to use the fill handle like we did in class today, the rectangle that's filled in, and use autofill to get us August and September. Okay, on to 1.4. So we want to resize column A so it's a little wider than Spice Chutneys. It wants us to hover between the two columns. We get this black cross looking thing. It wants us to pull it so there's just enough room for chutneys. This one's going to go further than that. Okay. So now it wants us to select range B3 through D3, which it already is. But if we had to, we could just click one and go to the right, holding down our left mouse to highlight it all. Now we want to right click. And in our mini toolbar, like we had with Word, we want to hit center, and it centers it in the cell. Now 1.5, we're going to enter some numbers. So in B4, it wants us to type 68325.12, and we're going to hit tab to go to C4. It wants us now to select columns B through F. In our home ribbon, in our cells section, it wants us to click format. and then it wants us to go to column width, and it wants us to type 13. So we're manually setting how big these columns are going to be, and hit OK. Now it wants us in C4 to type 86331.28 and hit tab, and 99300.10 and enter for the September value. And B5, we want to type 59875.00 and tab 82335.76, tab, and 88686.90 and enter. So that's it for that. We're on to 6, we're going to use the sum function. Sorry, where I'm recording it today, the internet is very slow. Let me try again. Okay, so in B8, it wants us to type the formula that's here, and we'll see a few different ways to do this. B4 plus B5 plus B6 plus B7. Notice the equal sign before the formula. That's how we start off any formula or function used in Excel. And it wants us to hit tab. In C8, we want to use the point and click method to enter a formula to add C4 through C8. So we double click it. Sorry. We go into our sum, our function bar, and we go up to all. Let's type for sum. And we're going to double click it. And we want C4 through C7 and hit OK. And now we want to go to D8. It wants us to go to home and editing, which is here. And it wants us to click the sum button to add D4 through D7. So there's 3 different ways you can enter the sum data. So we're going to copy the formula using a fill handle now. It's pretty similar to what we did when we filled out the series. So we're going to go to E3, and we're going to type total, press enter. With E4 active, we want to use the auto sum to sum B4 through D4. So we have other functions here, but we will just hit the sum and hit enter. And now we're going to just copy this all the way down to E8. We're using our fill handle. So we grab the filled in box and we copy all the values down. We're going to go to F3 and type trend and enter. So that's 17. On to 18, we're going to use merge and enter to make two adjacent cells look like they're one. So we want to go, well, we're going to do many. So we want to select the range A1 through F1. And in alignment, we want to do merge and center, which is this one that looks like a firewall type thing. And we're going to do A2 through F2. And we're going to click merge and center again. Wants us to click A1 in the styles group under cell styles. We want to go to title, which is down in titles and heading. And we're going to do heading 1 to A2. So cell styles and heading 1. So now it wants us to select B3 through F3. And then we're going to hold down the control key because we're going to do some formatting on adjacent cells. We want to do A4 through A8. And we want to go to cell styles and go to heading 4. On to 19, we're going to format financial numbers. So now we want to select B4 through E4 and B8 through E8. Same method, click and drag, hold control and click and drag. We want to go to home in our number group and we want to use the accounting number format, which is the $. So we're going to do B5 through E7 and we're going to use comma. We're going to do B8 through E8 and we're going to go to our cell styles and we're going to click total under titles and heading. And now we've seen some formatting of non-adjacent cells. 110, changing the workbook theme using ArmorFit. With our range highlighted, we want to go to page layout because we're going to change themes. Theme is all the way on the left of our ribbon. We click the more button and we go and find slice, which is in the first column, third row. Now we're being told to select column A, and all we do is click the A here. In our home tab, in our cells group, we're going to click format. And we want to go auto fit column width. And it made our column the exact space we needed for a spice chutney instead of dragging it before. We could also hover our cross between the two columns and double click to do the same thing. On to 111. We're going to insert our first chart. So to insert a chart, we have to have a range to do that. So we're going to go A3 through D7. go to Insert, and Charts is right in the middle. We're going to do Recommended Chart, and we're going to use the first clustered column chart. And there's our first chart. On to 112, Chart Tools to apply some styles. The chart tools are going to pop up next to the chart like we've seen with pictures and Word. So we want to change the chart title. So in the chart, click anywhere in the text. I like to highlight it, it's easier. And then third quarter sales for fruit spreads, and enter. Maybe I typed it wrong. I don't know what's going on here. Oh, it wants me to click outside when I'm done. Sorry. Click outside the chart border, outside the chart title right here. To the right of the chart, we want our chart styles button, which is in the middle. We want to drag our vertical scroll bar down. We want the 6 style 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. So style 6. Above the style gallery, click color, and we want to select colorful, the third row of colors. 1, 2, 3. We want to position the chart so the left corner of the chart aligns with the upper left of A10. So we can click into the chart area and start pulling it. And it wants it to position the chart so the upper left corner of the chart aligns with the upper left corner of A10. So right around there. And we're good with 112. On 13, we're going to put spark lines, which are cool to show trends within a cell itself. So we're going to put trend lines, spark lines in column F. So we want to highlight B4 through D7. And on insert, we want to go to spark lines, which are not in my view. There's spark line, sorry. I was looking for something different, my bad. So we want to click line. And when we do so, we have to tell it where to put it. So we're going to click F4 through F7. And then hit OK. And there we see our trend lines. And like we've seen with objects and the other 2 applications we've done, we have a spark lines menu now. And we want to go to the show group. And we want to put markers. We want to go to the style group. We want the first row, third style. And now we put some spark lines in. 114 is a footer, which I've never really used. Excel, I don't really know what it says here, but we'll go with it. Like I said, we're creating a footer, centering a worksheet, and changing page orientation. So we want to go to page layout. And under page setup group, we want to click margins. Then we want to go all the way down to custom margins. So on our margins tab, which is the default, under center on page, we want to click horizontally. So we want to click header and footer. And then in the center of the dialog box, click custom footer, which we're going to do right here. In the left section on the row of buttons, click insert file name, which if you scroll through, you can see which one it is. It's going to be one that looks like an Excel sheet. And then we're going to click OK and OK again. Now, the view we're looking at is portrait. It's the default. It's default for all applications except PowerPoint. So we want to change it. So we're going to click orientation and then landscape. That'll make it a lot easier for us to print at the end of this assignment. So 115. So we want to go to the Backstage view. We click File. We're going to click Info. In the lower right corner, we're going to go Show All Properties, which is right here. And then for tags, we want to put fruit spread sale. And hit Enter. Now we want to print. We decide to go to Print. And we see our print preview. So now on to 116, where we print a section of a worksheet, selection I should say. So we want to select A2 through F5. And then we go to our Backstage view. We're only going to print these few selections. And we're going to go Print. Then where it says Print Active Sheets, if we click drop down, we hit Print Selection, and we go OK. And our last one, displaying, printing, and hiding formulas. On the Formulas tab, in the Formula Ordering group, click Show Formulas. So we go to our Formulas tab. In the Formula Ordering group, we click Show Formulas. Point to the column A heading and then drag to the right to select columns A through F. Point to the column heading boundary between any of the two of these, and we're going to double click when we have the cross between them. And now we've auto fit everything and showed our formulas. It's going to tell us to go to page layout now to scale our page. And to scale, the fit group is right towards the middle of our screen. We want to click width. And we want one page. And everything's going to be on one page.